There's one question that keeps so many Canadians up at night as they approach retirement. How much can I actually withdraw each year without running out of money? Because here's the truth, saving for retirement is the easy part, at least in theory. You contribute to your RSP, you grow your portfolio, you build up your pension, but when the paychecks stop and it's time to start spending what you've saved, that's when the fear sets in. What if I take out too much too soon? What if I live longer than expected? What if the markets crash just after I retire? And the other side of it is just as frustrating. What if I take out too little and end up living too cautiously, missing out on the retirement I worked so hard for? Most Canadians don't want to die rich. They want to live comfortably. They want to travel, help their kids, maybe enjoy a cottage or some bucket list experiences. But that fear of running out of money can make it hard to enjoy what you've earned. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to figure out a sustainable withdrawal rate that fits your life. We'll talk about rules of thumb, like the 4% rule, what they get right, where they fall short, and how to build a flexible withdrawal strategy that gives you actual peace of mind. Hi, I'm Darcy Bell, Certified Financial Planner Professional with IG Wealth Management. I help Canadians grow, protect, and optimize their wealth, especially during retirement. And if you're wondering how to turn your savings into reliable income without the fear of running out too early or leaving too much behind, you're in the right place. Before we dive in, make sure to like this video, drop a comment if you've ever wondered how much is safe to spend in retirement, and subscribe so you don't miss future insights on retirement income, tax strategies, and smart planning for Canadians. Let's break it down. How much can you withdraw in retirement without running out? Part 1, the 4% rule, what it gets right and what it misses. Let's start with the rule that gets talked about the most, the 4% rule. Now, here's how it works. You take 4% of your total retirement savings in your first year of retirement, and you increase that amount slightly each year to keep up with inflation. So, if you've saved $1 million, you'd start by withdrawing $40,000 in year 1, and each year after, you'd adjust that number up a little bit for inflation. It's a simple, easy to remember guideline, and it was based on US market data going all the way back to the 1920s. The original research showed that in most historical scenarios, withdrawing 4% a year gave retirees about a 90 to 95% chance of not running out of money over 30 years. That's pretty good odds, and it's why this rule has been so widely used by financial professionals. But here's the thing, it's just a rule of thumb. It was never meant to be perfect fit for every retiree, and there are a few big issues, especially if you're planning your retirement here in Canada. First, it doesn't account for our tax system. In Canada, the taxes on RSP withdrawals, OAS clawbacks, and income-tested benefits make a big difference. What looks like 4% might actually cost you way more in after-tax terms, depending on how you structure withdrawals. Second, the 4% rule assumes a consistent portfolio mix, typically around 60% equities and 40% bonds. But not everyone's portfolio looks like that. Some Canadians prefer more conservative investments. Others have real estate, corporate accounts, or income from rental properties. If your situation is more complex, the 4% rule might oversimplify your risks. Third, it assumes your retirement lasts exactly 30 years. But what if you live to 95 or 100? If you retire at 60, you could need your portfolio to last 35 or even 40 years, and a flat 4% drawdown might not be sustainable. And finally, it doesn't adapt to the real world. Some years you might spend more, like when you're traveling in your 60s. Other years you might cut back, maybe during a market downturn or when your health shifts. The 4% rule doesn't give you that flexibility. So while it's a helpful benchmark, it's not a strategy, and relying on it blindly could lead you to one of two outcomes. You run out of money early, or you live too conservatively and leave behind way more than you needed to. The key is to build a plan that's based on your actual life, not just a percentage. And that brings us to something even more important. Part 2, real life isn't a straight line. Why flexibility beats rules of thumb. Retirement planning on paper looks tidy. You just plug in a number, add inflation, and let it ride. But real life doesn't work like that. Your needs, wants, and spending patterns will change as you move through different phases of retirement. Think about it like this. Phase 1, the active years, 60s to early 70s. This is when most Canadians want to travel, enjoy life, spend time with grandkids, maybe even renovate the house or buy a cottage. Spending is often higher in these years, and that's okay as long as it's part of the plan. Phase 2, the settled years, mid-70s to early 80s. You slow down a little, travel decreases. Health costs might increase slightly, but discretionary spending usually drops. This is often when retirees find their expenses stabilize or even shrink. Phase 3, the support years, 80s and beyond. Here, you may need to plan for healthcare, home support, or even long-term care. It's not necessarily more expensive overall, but where your money goes tends to change. That's why a fixed 4% rule doesn't cut it. What you really need is a flexible withdrawal plan, one that adapts to changing lifestyle needs, fluctuating investment performance, inflation, tax rates, and unexpected events like home repairs, family support, or medical needs. Here's an example. Let's say you've saved $900,000. In your early 60s, you might withdraw $50,000 to $55,000 per year to travel and enjoy retirement. In your late 70s, you might only need $35,000 to $40,000. And if the market drops, you might temporarily lower your draw to avoid selling investments at a loss, then increase it again later. That kind of adjustable income is what helps retirees stay on track and sleep better at night. Flexibility doesn't just protect you from risk. It gives you permission to enjoy your money when it matters most. In the next section, we'll talk about how to build a plan that works with your income sources, your spending goals, and your investment mix, so you can draw income confidently without putting your retirement at risk. Part 3, building a personalized withdrawal strategy that works for you. Let's bring this all down to earth now. You've worked hard. You've saved. Now the real challenge is turning that nest egg into a reliable, tax-efficient income for the next 25 to 30 years. So let's walk through what goes into building a personalized withdrawal plan. Step 1, get clear on your real spending. This is about more than just your fixed bills. Yes, you'll have core expenses, utilities, groceries, insurance, maybe a car payment. But retirement isn't just about surviving. It's about living. What does your lifestyle look like? Do you want to travel, help your kids or your grandkids, renovate the kitchen, or simply have peace of mind knowing you can afford a few splurges? Don't just plan for the minimum. Plan for the lifestyle you actually want. For many Canadians, that's somewhere between $60,000 and $80,000 a year after tax. But the exact number is personal and is your starting point. Step 2, know your guaranteed income sources. Next, you want to know what income is already coming in, regardless of the market. CPP and OAS, a company pension if you have one, or possibly annuity income. Let's say that adds up to $30,000 a year. If your goal is $70,000, that means you need to withdraw $40,000 each year from your own savings to fill the gap. Now we have a target. Step 3, map out your investment buckets. Now look at where your money is saved. RRSPs and RIFs, fully taxable. TFSAs, tax-free withdrawals. Non-registered accounts, taxed on interest, capital gains, and dividends. You want to use these accounts in a coordinated way so you're not paying more tax than you need to. For example, in early retirement, you might draw from your RSP while your tax rate is low before OAS and CPP kick in. Later, you might use your TFSA to avoid pushing your income too high and triggering OAS clawbacks. And throughout, your non-registered investments can provide tax-efficient income through capital gains and eligible dividends. It's not just about how much you withdraw, it's where you pull it from and when. That's what makes a withdrawal strategy effective. Step 4, adjust as you go. Here's the key. This is not a one and done plan. It never is. Markets change. Your health might change. Your goals might change. Maybe you sell a property. Maybe you decide to help your adult children more. Or maybe you slow down and spend less in your 80s. A good withdrawal strategy is flexible. You should be reviewing it every year or two, adjusting your income, your withdrawal sources, and your tax approach as life evolves. That's how you protect your savings without limiting your lifestyle. Part 4, what you should do next. So if you've ever found yourself wondering, how much can I really afford to spend each year in retirement? You're not alone. Far from it. The truth is, there's no magic number that works for everyone. The 4% rule is a helpful starting point, but it's not enough on its own. Because your retirement is personal, your income needs, your health, your goals, your taxes, all of it plays a role in how much you can safely withdraw. And here's the good news. With the right strategy, you can retire with confidence. You can spend more in your early years when you're most active. You can reduce taxes with smart withdrawal planning, and you can build in flexibility for whatever the future brings. The goal isn't to just avoid running out of money, it's to live the retirement you've worked so hard for, without guesswork or guilt. If you want help turning your savings into a clear, sustainable income strategy, click the link in the description to book a free, no-obligation consultation with me. Together, we'll take a look at your retirement income sources, investments across your RSP, TFSA, pension, and non-registered accounts, your tax situation, and what you want this next chapter of life to actually look like. We'll map out how much you can safely withdraw each year based on your real numbers, your goals, and your values. It's about creating a plan that's not only smart, but sustainable. And if this video helped give you some clarity, give it a like, drop a comment with your biggest question about retirement withdrawals, and hit subscribe so you don't miss future videos on retirement income, tax strategies, and financial planning in Canada. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.